Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, and it is Wednesday, October 18th, YC 125, and let's get ready for Havoc! This is the Eve Universe Show! Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going, guys? It is exciting. It is Wednesday, which for those of you who might be paying attention, I don't stream on Wednesday, but you know what? There's a lot going on this week, so extra special, stream for everyone. We have updates we have a dev blog, and we have Hoboleaks. We've had many questions as to what things are going to be like in Havoc, and we are getting answers. And let me tell you, I like almost all of the answers that I've gotten. Almost. There's one thing that has me a little bit perturbed. Okay, so this is kind of one of those things that we were talking about when it came to the updating of the Vorton weapons and Edencom weapons. Not only do we see those new damage mods coming out and the mutaplasmids for them, but what they're doing is the wormhole effects that affect missiles, the missile stats, also will now affect the Vorton projector's stats in the same way, right? So you can see like the black hole bonus now has a Vorton projector explosion velocity bonus, and the Magnetar has a Vorton projector explosion radius. Yeah, explosion radius of explosion velocity. So that's for the different wormhole effects. Now, it was brought to my attention, and so I'm going to bring it up to CCP's attention, that while this is all good and all, what about the implants that affect missiles? Can we get that to also affect Vorton projectors? That'd be neat. Here we got confirmation of some of the stuff about the alligator. 500 bonus to medium combat? Hold on. Okay, yeah, that's the same as the Hilo. 12.5% bonus to drone micro warp drive velocity. There we go. Oh, is that on the destroyer too? No, of course not. Why would that be there? I mean, that's fair. I feel bad that the destroyers don't have... Yeah, Pyrolancia does affect them now. That's a good point. That's a good point. The Pyrolancia now adds like a 6, 3, 5, or 8%, 9%, whatever Pyrolancia does. It now affects Vorton projectors as well, which is really nice. But I really would like to see this drone micro warp drive velocity bonus being given to the destroyers too. It really doesn't make any sense for them to not have it, but we've talked about this before. So there are new stats: allow in fully corrupted low sec, allow in fully corrupted high sec, and capture proximity interactives only. So basically, the first flag is they're giving this flag to things like bombs, which we'll see, which allows bombs to be used in low sec when it's fully corrupted. Likewise, there are things that might be only allowed in fully corrupted high sec systems, and as opposed to normal high sec systems. And then the final one basically just says whether or not the capture point also detects NPCs as well as players. Now, here's where more of the interesting stuff starts to come in. We have a bunch of different updates when it comes to heat attenuation. What does that mean? Well, heat attenuation is the likelihood that damage will splash outward from the module that's being overheated at the time, right? So when a module cycles in a heat, it rolls for itself to see if it's going to damage it, and then it rolls for the modules nearby to see if it'll damage it. And the attenuation bonus is how much of a probability like cascades down the ranks. So for instance, I believe that means that with this heat attenuation, basically the chance of the damage is cut by half for each stage away from the thing that is actually being overheated is happening. So it went from 0.63 to 0.5 in the high sec or high slots, and it went from 0.5 to 0.63 in the low slots. And we have a bunch of little random ones like that. What's happening here? Well, what's happening here, it appears to be that like these are ships that have had their module layouts changed, but when those module layouts got changed, the heat attenuations did not get modified to adjust for those changes. And so this is closer to like a correction to make it so that heat attenuation is now reflected of the actual number of modules that exist in the high, medium, and low slots of those ships. Now, the fact that they added heat attenuation to the Badger's high slots is pretty funny. It does kind of imply that you could overheat Badger high slots pretty much indefinitely until they burn it themselves out. Not that there's very many things that go into high slots for Badgers that can be overheated, but yep, that's right. Got it. Cool. So we see this kind of all over the place. We're seeing a lot of different corrections here. Now, so far we've been pretty happy today. So far we've had a lot of good news. Brace yourself. We're going to take a turn. Warp Disruption Field Generator 2. Allowing fully corrupted low sec. Now 1. Unusable in Zarzakh goes from 1 to none. Bomb Launcher 2 goes from usable in Zarzakh from 1 to none. There's probably other examples in here, but yeah, here we go. Warp Disruption Field Generator 1. Lock Breaker Bombs, Electron Bombs, Shrapnel Bombs, Bomb Launchers, Concussion Bombs. All of these things have had their unusable in Zarzakh factor removed. This means, now, allegedly this what we're seeing here is not going to get patched until the 14th. So Zarzakh, as of right now, is the same as it's always been. So there's no bombs, there's no bubbles, none of that stuff in Zarzakh right now. However, what this is saying is, as of the 14th, bubbles and bombs will be allowed in Zarzakh. That means that you'll be able to camp the inside of Zarzakh, unlike now. I was a really big fan of the fact that, like, control of Zarzakh was incredibly difficult, right? You can't actually project control over Zarzakh. People can get around all they want, especially if you're fast enough. This cuts that. That's no longer going to be true. This means, in theory, somebody could screw with us by just, like, keeping a bubble up, you know, on the fulcrum. Now, granted, we would kill the hell out of them if they did that. But, like, this will definitely be a hitch in the operations of Zarzakh. So why make this change? It was so good. It was so good. You know why? Voting matters. Apparently, our elected representatives on the CSM decided that being able to travel through Zarzakh was just too good for force projection, and therefore needed to be able to be controlled by the nullsec empires, so they can now set up their own camps inside Zarzakh if they want to, because somehow being able to travel from Garistus nullsec to fucking Angel nullsec is just too strong. I hate it. I think that this is, you know, I don't know if this is the correct expression, but this feels like cutting off the nose to spite the face, right? This feels like a bad choice. I would like any of the CSM members that feels differently than this. I would much like to talk to you and hear from you why why it's so devastating for us to be able to travel between NPC space to NPC space. This is, it's honestly just extraordinarily disappointing, because like this opens up the possibility of just like I said, it could just be like, oh yeah, we want to go do stuff. Oh, we're being camped in right now. We're being hell camped. Well, right? Like, I don't know, man. This is, in my opinion, this is bad. Bubbles and bombs do not belong in in Zarzakh. I also believe that bushes don't belong in Zarzakh, but either way, I digress. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't like it. I don't understand it. I don't want it. But it's what we got right now. So, this is, you know what this is? You know what this is? This is karma for me. This is what I get for not doing CSM interviews this year, isn't it? I mean, not that I would have ever even thought to ask this question. It never even occurred to me to be like, hey, are you willing to mess with Zarzakh? You know, whatever, man. No. Boo. Boo. Don't let Noblox decide how Zarzakh works. That's not cool. All right. Now then. Jimmies have been rustled. Thumbs downs have been had. Let's all kind of purge our systems, like the stream. Let's respond with a little bit of positivity. If you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. That'll help out. It'll make us all feel a little bit better, right? Oh, I can't. I just can't. So dumb.
A few moments later.
You can stay in high sec if you don't want to deal with bubbles and bombs. I can also stay in low sec.
You see, this is why we can't have nice things, Barry. You asked.
But the point is that there's no good reason for that change, and the whole point of Zarzakh is to not be controllable. Yeah, well, no, they can't. So, Nick, they can act. That's the other good point. That's actually a really good point. You cannot anchor bubbles directly on the Zarzakh gates in the nullsec areas. However, you're absolutely free to use non-anchorable bubbles like sabers and you know, Hicks and stuff. So yeah, no, they can absolutely still camp the outsides. All this does, the only thing this opens up, here's my problem with this. Here's my problem with this, actually. No. I don't want to sound like a big whiner, okay? Let's actually talk about the real difference here. If the complaint was that null blocks are afraid that moving from one place, like the freedom of movement is too powerful, here's the issue. This change doesn't really affect that. You can still camp the other ends. You know what this stops? The only thing this impacts is people undocking from Zarzakh trying to warp to the freaking undocking from the fulcrum to warp to the shipcaster. That's who this messes up, and that's why I don't like it. That's why I don't like it. The fact that something could interrupt, or because we have one point of entry, right? And so that just becomes, and it's not even like we could move if it becomes hell camped. So yeah, I see this going wrong. I see this going wrong real fast. Now that being said, I think that, like, I'm going to be friendly with the Deathless. So if I undock into your bubble camp and then you shoot me, guess what? The guns are going to start shooting you. However, I'm also going to assume that if you're powerful enough to set up a camp like this, you've probably already destroyed the gate guns. So yeah, no, I don't like this at all. Hold on. How about hold on. Can you make, so bubbles pull you out based on line direction, right? So it should be very possible to bring your saber to like the edge of the safe zone and then bubble. And then when people warp to you from the fulcrum, it'll actually land them outside of the safe zone and at the edge of your bubble. So it'll be hard for them to get out in time with the chaos of everything else. And then You just fucking point them. Oh my God, this is horrible. Sheesh, thank you so much for the $5. Oh my God, thank you for the little bit of positivity in my dark world. No, so like, check it out. I can set up a bubble. They warp to it. When they land, I warp disrupt them, right? Now they're away from the edge, or if I scram them or whatever, they've got to burn in or burn away, and their hull is grinding down. And remember, the hull grinding down is based on percentage. And so my saber will lose hull at approximately the same rate as their hull, regardless of what their ship is. But the difference is that I have ensured that they are in the death zone first. So even if I go chasing after them into the death zone, yeah, even if I don't have one of those, you know, like Arazu to sit there and grab you, even if I chase after you with the saber, even if I chase after you with the saber, I'm entering into the death zone after you. So you will die before I do, and I can hopefully get back into the safe zone before I die too. That is awful. Because you know people are going to do that. That is awful. And the worst part about it is, you know what the worst part about it is? They're doing this without without changing directional scan, as far as I know. So this means that you can't even directional scan to find out if you're going to get or not. This is not okay. This is not, I don't think that this is well thought through. I think that they need to think through again. No, Noblox are not pirates. They are empires. The thing is, I'm not even worried about Noblox doing this. I'm worrying about, like, just a couple of, you know, dorks. You need 2 or 3 people to set up a gate camp here. You think Tama is bad? You don't think that these gates are going to be bubble camped permanently? Why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be? You can only warp in from so many different directions. They can almost ensure that you die. That is bad. Yeah, I just want to go corrupt some systems, okay? I just want to corrupt some systems. We're trying to bring you bubbles in low sec, guys. Let us bring you bubbles and bombs in low sec. We don't need them in... that's so terrible. More or less, we don't even have a reason to go into Zarzakh. Well, yeah, but I mean, like I said, not everybody needs to do this. Like 2 people, 1 person with 2 alts can basically, like, just run rough shot. I think that's the term. Run rough shot over, like, everything in Zarzakh, right? That's ew. This is gross. This is absolutely gross. Because, like, they can make sure that they have a camp that's big enough that if you're fast enough to get into the safe zone, you're also weak enough for them to just blap you, right? Oh, I can't even. This is just bad. This is just bad. I cannot see this working out. It should be that way. But this isn't even a matter of N+1. This is just a matter, because, like, this is, N+1 implies that this is, like, set fighting points, you know? This is just all the time, right? So, yeah, Dutch Gunner for CSM, exactly. So this isn't even, like, an N+1 problem, because, like, it's still just a gate camp, right? If you show up with a giant force, what do? They just warp away, dock up in the fulcrum, and wait until you leave, and then go and set up again, you know? Like, this is not an N+1 situation, because they can just... an individual can just mess with you and just kill you. They're not even the ones killing you. Zarzakh is killing you. That's gross. And again, I'm not even worried. So here's the thing. I'm not even worried about null blocks. That's the excuse, right? But if we're doing an insurgency, right? Let's say we're attacking a critical system. You know, we're trying to break an Amarian high-sec system to cut off Amarr for the remainder of the invasion, insurrection, so that way Amarr is cut off. This is one of our plans. Spoiler alert, right? Well, if the Minmatar and Amarr militia decide that it's important enough, they can just start cutting us off at the spigot by just putting in alts or just paying the price to go into Zarzakh and starting to camp us from even being able to project into the war zone at all. I hate it. Santiago, they're changing it so that bubbles and bombs are going to be allowed in Zarzakh with the expansion. Or at least that's the plan. Yeah, a drag bubble plus a web bubble. Oh, and you can do the double bubble thing, so that way you land inside of a bubble. Oh my god, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad. I don't even know. I legitimately don't even know how to counter that, right? Because like I said, you can't even tell if somebody's there. So you're just going to have to like... You're just going to have to warp there in a Corvette and like see if you get killed. And then go back to the Fulcrum, grab your real ship, and then warp in? Ah, I hate it. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. In other news, the 20-second Overseer effects have been increased in value by a little bit. In the meantime, I've been Ashrothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and here to put even into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Oh my god, bring the buddy over. Oh my god.
Oh, buddy.
Look at this guy. This is the guy. This is the guy. This is why you're doing the likes, comments, and subscribes, guys. Look at this boy. He's so cute. He's so cute.
He sure is.
He's the best. He's not a bunny. He's a guinea pig. This is a guinea pig. Oh, he's making the little chirpy noises. Nice. All right, like the stream. Like the stream.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're saving this.
Oh.
This little one if you're liking this.
Hold him underneath, just like with the cat or whatever. Like, hold him by the feet. There you go. Oh, put him back in the cage. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I want to give an extra special shout out to my top sponsors, supporters, whatever you want to call them. Abyssus, Aikawarazu Chan, Arkas Ilring, Belligerent Neckbeard, BlackRoseNoble, Dajat Lemmont, Drake, Federation Frontline, Ganai, J-Kun, Lumi, Midnight Space Monkey, Milk, Not Just Fun, Seeds Aplenty, Serenolin with No Eyes, Shodanar, Ciliana Velesh, Tijen, Nephilim, Grendel, Yenti Lipuf, Zolnex, Zero, as well as my Immortal tier supporters. Come on over here. Can you read this list of names? 745.
745 NPSI.
Eridanika.
The Queen. Ebo 1337. May. Malik. Starfire. Merc. U10.
Nihilum. LM1.
Sheesh. And Rid. Thank you so much.
Now, I don't want you guys getting me in trouble for, having my... This was a fun time.
Sure
Let's have fun. All right, guys. On that note, I will see you tomorrow. But until next time, I'll see you in space. By the way, I want to point out that if you do want to go do the epic arcs, be very careful. Currently, the system of Quay for the Angel Epic Arc has 21 people in local.
Wait, how long has the stream been going?
Just around 2.5 hours. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. All right. I've been Ashrothi. Until next time,
I'm dead right
I'll see you in space.